for me to pick someone because I don't know too many poets, but I love specific ones that are already who are already really popular. And since you guys are more well versed than me in poetry and poetry knowledge and background, so I was like, well, bring someone that people might know, and slash that I also happen to know, and I have her poetry book. Actually, I only have this and a poetry handbook. So I taught basic poetry to my students in Thailand, and so I use this as presents. I give it, I pick a poem that I think resonates with the person's personality or something to just cheer them up. And she tends to speak really well, at least for me. And, well, I don't really need to talk about her since, what I just know about her is that she's fairly reclusive almost. She doesn't really like to give interviews, but when she does, she's a very deep person, and she likes writing about nature.
And she used to live in Ohio.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's from Cleveland.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So it's like she lives in Provincetown.
Isn't she the one that went
in Florida.
to track down, what, you mentioned a poet 2 meetings ago, the woman who's, I have no name remembrance any longer. The famous poet who drew large crowds to all her readings.
Who did what with the reading?
Large crowds?
A poet.
Oh, Edna St. Vincent Millay.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, Vincent. Now, she went and lived with the Vincent household for about 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
She went to
yes,
track down,
yeah.
These poems.
Mary Oliver did.
Mary Oliver did. Vincent's sister welcomed her in.
Look at the
She
pictures right
spent a couple of years living there.
Pretty
on that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
She was born in Maple
All
Heights.
right, well, let's hear it.
Okay. Well, would someone like to read? I chose two of my favorite in this book.
Why don't you read it? You're doing
Yeah,
good.
you can read. All right.
We'll help you with the big words, okay?
Okay. On the beach.
I'm on the wrong side.
On the beach first. Okay. On the
Green
beach.
beans.
On the beach. On the beach at dawn. 4 small stones clearly hugging each other. How many kinds of love might there be in the world? And how many formations might they make? And who am I ever to imagine I could know such a marvelous business? When the sun broke, it poured willingly its light over the stones. That did not move, not at all. Just as, to its always generous term, it shed its light on me, my own body that loves equally to hug another body.
Pretty.
I love the poured willingly.
I like the structure overall, like her structure in her poems tend to, I think for me, from what I read, they tend to vary, and she puts different emphasis on some of the things that she wants us to notice, at least in nature. That's what I like about it. So, okay, there goes the camera still. Beans, green and yellow. In fall, it is mushrooms, gathered from dampness, under the pines. In spring, I have known the taste of the lamb, full of milk and spring grass. Today, it is beans, green and yellow, and lettuce and basil from my friend's garden. How calmly, as though it were an ordinary thing, we eat the blessed earth.
That's a good one. I don't remember that one.
Well, it's good for the gardener too. I mean, it's this. I had to write down this author's name sometime when I have a pencil.
Oh,
to
yeah,
write
sorry, I
it.
didn't have it, yeah.
I think you're right. It's a lovely, simple poetry, but it has so much more meaning, deeper. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, she's a really good observer, like many writers and poets, of the things around her.
So you read this to students in Thailand, you said? How
I-
did they respond to it, if we did?
Some of them were like, huh? Well, they're college students, and so some of them are like, what? Others were more receptive, especially those with their English language levels were advanced. But others were just like trying to actually understand the words or the whole meaning, because it's just a whole new level with English language.
Yeah, well, sure.
Wow.
Poetry is very hard in
Yeah.
translation.
Yeah.
And I remember using a poem from a very famous Thai poet, and I can read a little Thai, but for me, it was so hard because it was using, because in Thai language, just like with English language, or many languages, there are levels of formality, and this one was just so formal that every time I looked up a word, it just didn't blend. And for them, one of their assignments was, can you translate the poem for me? And all of them had different translations because of the way, because it's interpretation rather than word for word translation. And
Very
so,
interesting.
but I used her as a sample because she really, I think, also understands the science behind the poem.
Marvelous.
So,
Does Thai poetry rhyme? In
I don't
the
know
way-
enough of it. It's the Thai poet. I was gonna bring a Thai poet. Maybe I'll bring one next time.
Yeah, you-
With the translation, the Thai and then the English translation there. No, not
'Cause
really.
you could hear them rhyme even if you didn't know the.
Probably
what it
the
meant.
Thai language, yeah. I can read some, but I'll pick a really simple one.
That would be interesting.
A haiku Thai.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be even harder.
Haiku. Yeah. I just got that.
Just a T in the front, right?
do you have a poem of your own?
Oh, I
too?
do. Yeah, sorry. Okay, here we go. My printer ran out of ink, and so I'm glad I picked.
Mary Oliver is probably consistently the most sensitive nature poet. You know, her stuff is
I
just
feel like
full.
she becomes what she's writing about. In other words, I feel like there's a real connection between the poet and the object or the nature that she's around.
If you haven't read her poem Thirst,
It sounds
read
really
that.
familiar.
she dedicated a whole book of poetry to her
Her
partner that died.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful poem.
Okay, so I brought a nature poem. Okay. Bird song. The ritual begins. A round electric sound in the air, spreading like a galaxy, engulfing like a whirlpool. A multi-tone tenor splashing on a dark surface, turning the dull into a frenzy. A billowing crescendo in the mist, swirling to its mate, who calls back with a soft, plosive song, the sound of morning.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
That's Mary Oliver.
That is very Oliver. Oliver-esque.
I'm not familiar with the word plosive.
Oh, like linguistic, it's the,
Yeah.
Yeah, like explosive,
yeah,
same sound.
there's air coming out of it.
But birds have no whips.
Well, it was from that sound
I
of-
know, I'm
Yeah, okay.
It was fast,
Birds
fast,
have
use
no
of
Yeah, I don't know.
lips.
But you know what? I've seen a bird's breath
Oh, yeah.
on the deck out my
When it was
front.
really cold?
I've seen,
Wow.
and I'm like, whoa.
That is
Well,
cool.
the thing is,
They call it
is
back south.
that they have a syrinx, they have a double voice box. That's why their songs are so amazingly
Intricate,
and
yeah.
complex.
What has
I
a
didn't
double
know that.
birds?
Birds. That's so cool. I
That's it.
didn't know that, yeah. I'd like to know
They're
more.
probably very good at ventriloquists, which we only just try.
Very nice.
It always amazes me with parakeets or parrots that they can sound like English, except we use our tongue so much, and their tongues, parakeet tongue, is like the head of a kitchen match. Just a little round blobby thing.
And very, very,
And how can they make lingual plosives or all that sort of thing? It just is, it's amazing.
it's all in their long voice box. They have.
You're gonna have a chair coming over your head any moment now,
Okay.
just so you
Oh,
know.
There's a chair
I
over
think I
there if
left
we
a
can do
copy
it.
in the copier.
What were you going to do with Robert Lowell? Maybe we have time to do it
Well, you
today.
didn't see it.
Time for
Well, did you use the?
my poem?
part?
Okay.
Yeah. Or the Robert
There's not
Lowell
room
thing
down
that
here,
you were
Patricia,
doing.
go over there.
Oh,
There is
yeah.
not room down here.
I feel discombobulated, so I think I'll just pass my poem, okay?
Okay,
We could
that's
do it at
fine.
the end if we have time.
And we'll save Robert Lowell to the next time.
If we have-
Robert Lowell's a big subject, so we ought not
Yeah,
to
that's a
skirt
good
over
I
it.
thought he was very interesting, that's why I put so much about him.
Yeah, he and Elizabeth Bishop, were
Unpack it.
closely allied, and tragically in
Yes.
many ways.
Oh.
But I look forward to hearing more about Robert Lowell.
Okay, well, then
Somebody needs to point that
Kathy
at
will
me.
have a copy of it.
Want me to point it at you?
No, that's okay.
Oh.
This is about to fall out, okay.
Are you handing me that or just waiting in here? Just on
Just in
it.
case you know. Yeah, the paper's very thick. It's like paper used to be.
This is another of my infamous Monday night poems.
Bring it on, huh?
Hold on.
With all the boo-boos and yoo-hoos, to-dos, who are yous and email news, Poetry Month and broken hips, cherry blossoms and weather dips. Serve up a poem slightly rare with metaphors if you should dare. Oh, there'll be some deep, otherwise we'll aim for paucity of lies. This every Tuesday writing thing plays bonkers with the yin of yang. Should you want me to be quiet now, I'll heed your wishes with a bow.
There you go.
Yeah, quickly, man.
What's-
You know,
oh.
since you mentioned
Yeah.
that, of course, Marianne Flanoy, and I paid her a visit. She's recovering nicely. In fact, she was on her feet the next day after her surgery.
Wow.
Is she home?
No, she's going to stay at Kimes, a recuperation center, until she is finished her therapy. So, but she sends her greetings, and she's doing okay.
Well, where do we send?
I
You
just
could
sent
send it
some
to
to
Kimes.
her, well, to her home, I thought.
Yeah,
Don
probably
would-
easier to send it to
That's what
Baker
I
Road.
wondered,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what you
Yeah.
suggested. But anyway, she's doing fine, she's in great spirits.
She has a beautiful room.
And she reminds us that
Oh,
1 out of every 3 senior citizens will take a fall. So you should look at
For
a
whom?
stairway or a step
On their
as
ass.
a terrorist that's out to
I
kill
didn't say
you.
where.
Well, but that's usually the location of falling.
You know, you take a fall for someone and I just.
I know that's what you're aiming for, but I would be more pedantic,
We
interpreting.
don't need any more pedants in here.
Why don't you pass your poem around?
At sunrise, and then hung until dark.
Is that part of the poem?
No, it's not. I'm just, okay. Ah, retirement time. When the day is in perpetual sunset mode. Now, arthritis is a better weather forecaster than a climatologist. And beautiful old ceramic poetry reminds one of the ode on a Grecian one, which was contemporaneous on one's salad days. The times when you were primarily nocturnal and frivolity bode one's occupational phase. The end, at the beginning, didn't have to reach a daily planner entry. And no penumbra of approaching doom or demise were always sunny, bright, and ceaseless and strong. No biological bells were sounding a tinted ambulation of hospital monitors indexing the current status of existing. The effulgent attitude of youth had faded, metamorphosed into a desiccated maelstrom of diminishing narcissistic echoes.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
you get the frog.
I got him in, damn it, I got him in.
That is a mouthful.
You weren't fashionably. That's like really late.
Okay, the title of my poem is called Wine is Bottled Poetry. And I'll quickly say that there is more than one footnote to Encyclographic Patricia Black, who hates them. In fact, there's a
Written by a
footnote,
centipede, it's got so many feet.
there's a footnote at the end of each stanza.
Ah.
Because I've stolen a phrase from a famous poet for each stanza. And if you want to see the reference, flip it over and you'll see the references. But there's no need for you to do that, but just so you will know if it's curious. So these are rhyming couplets. Okay. Perhaps the greatest gift from the gods was wine, devoutly drunk by some as Christ's blood divine. I too like to lift a glass and let my senses swim, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim. Clearly, wine, love, and poetry are all close kin. In these we see life's brevity with less chagrin. Carpe diem, our poetry aptly juxtaposes. They are not long, the days of wine and roses. Let us waste no sweet time with regret. Life is too honeyed to grouse and fret. A book of verses beneath the bough, a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou.
And a knife, too.
How luscious they were, how fast they flew. Any one would have been enough, Dayenu. So let's select a poem and a wine let's find and enjoy them together, for they intertwine.
Very good. And I'll
There's a wine tasting club that meets at the OUN. And I was struck by how wine and poetry conjoin and intertwine so frequently. Wine is throughout the Bible, as Patricia probably knows. I mean, the Last Supper we served wine. I mean, wine is a part of life that's interesting. I think it is very similar to writing poetry. I think writing a poem and making a fine wine requires subtlety and attention to all sorts of nuances. And even if you're not a wine maker or a poetry maker, when you enjoy wine or you enjoy poetry, you have to savor it carefully.
And you talk about it metaphorically.
And you talk about it metaphorically.
Well, and
wine language is very often pretentious and stupid, but you look
And so is
for
some poetry.
subtleties of taste, a hint of this, a terroir, a mouth, legs of wine, which is very similar to what we do with poetry.
This is my first rhyme couplets, but no footnotes.
Oh, okay.
Ah, well.
I'm not a scholar.
He's never gotten over being a college professor.
Well, it's Joe Rota, isn't it? His spirit hovering.
Yeah.
So this is where I was all of February. I got one poem out of all those months, that month.
Everybody got one.
I had a lot.
That's rough.
I got a new printer, so.
Yay.
Okay. And I wasn't sure if I should have just said off-season, or did I need to say South Carolina in the title? I went back and forth like 25 times.
It's not a town in South Carolina.
No, that's why I thought just off-season. I think it's better off-season.
What's the zip code?
It's north of Myrtle Beach.
Or off-season in South Carolina.
We check our cell phone charts for low tide and decode prints, birds, dogs, shoes in squishy sand. However, not one dolphin did we see. Just missed them. Really? I nod skeptically. Palmettos, ocean rainbow, southern drawl. So nicely not Ohio. Almost all. When Lead asked the waitress, it's a joke, we thought, until she tapped my no-lid Coke. Lead. Yes, there we stood, mere feet from Hillary, before her conquest in the primary. Unlike the dark lord, he not to be named, died not. All 50 delegates, he claimed. With strong support from blacks, Hill won the fight. Black folk were once more numerous than white. In Ghana, skills with rice were daily chores. that transferred as enslavement on these shores.
Wow.
Very nice,
Good, yeah.
very
You
nice.
encompassed everything.
Well, I left out things that didn't rhyme.
I'm sorry, how does Liad become no lid?
Pardon?
How does
Liad.
Liad?
Leah.
Oh, good lid, okay, so
Did you want to leave? No, this really,
Okay.
all of this really
Yeah, I
happened.
understand that, but I was trying to get no out of that.
Oh,
No, my sister, we had plastic glasses with, it was actually water, but water didn't rhyme with anything. We had plastic glasses that you could have taken home, and they weren't, we didn't drink it all. So the waitress said, "You want a Liad?"
Yeah.
She just, my sister's from New York, she just looked at her, "A Liad? What's a Liad?"
Oh, yeah, no, I was just trying to put it, I thought there was a no in the Liad, and I couldn't find it.
My brother had an experience like that when he was working in Arkansas, because for breakfast, the waitress asked him what he wanted, and he said, "I would like tea and French toast, please." And she said, "Well, that's a bunch." He said, "Well, no, I'm hungry." So when she brought the order, there were 10 pieces of French toast and no drink. Because he said tea and French toast, so she brought 10 of them.
Oh my gosh.
From then on, he asked for French toast and tea.
Once in Louisiana, I wanted some chapstick, because for
You
my
wanna use
lips, chapstick. And I said, "Do you have any chapstick?" And she said, "You mean like you eat with?"
Chopsticks. I was in China, all right? I was working in China, and I asked my brother to send me some chopsticks. Excuse me, chapsticks.
Chapsticks.
I asked him to send me chapsticks. Now, this is in the days before there was email. So I had to wait for his letter to come back to me. He said, "You're living in China. Why do you want me to send you chopsticks?" It's like chapstick,
Oh,
please.
but that was your,
Yeah.
over the phone, you mean?
No, this was,
Because it would have to be spoken to make the mistake.
yeah, you're right. It probably was over the phone.
Oh,
But he sent me an email,
Letter,
sent me
an
a
actual
letter,
letter.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it was a letter. I think he just didn't understand my writing.
Well, I'll pass it.
Go
So should
for
I
it.
take off the South Carolina and just, because I,
Yeah, I would.
Or offshore
Yeah, we
in
don't need
SC,
Yeah.
if you wanna
because I
have
was
it.
trying to make it like the first couplet good and then kind of not good in each one. So it's like off season.
You don't need it, but it makes your
Well,
reference to
off-season,
Hillary.
off-season
Yeah,
south?
that's what I,
South Carolina
back
primary.
and forth.
In the spirit of overall confusion,
Yeah.
there was this talk about Robert Lowell, and there was talk about Kay Ryan and Mary Oliver. So I thought that we were going to be talking about Kay Ryan today.
So did I.
Yeah, me too.
And so I did try something, and believe me, this was one of the toughest things I've done, because as you know, I'm very wordy, and I limited my words and length of my lines
Wow.
drastically. So these are 3 short poems, served with a twist of rhyme, in a feeble attempt to write in the style of Kay Ryan. First
You
is
go,
The
you
Heart. The heart is quite a work of art. Despite all its pipes and valves, yipes, it needs no oil or salves. And yet, for me, it's worth a life of days. From birth to death, it works, it plays. For all these years, through all my tears and fears, it keeps ticking without a timer to keep me kicking. No need to primer. It simply whispers its wisdom, and I need only listen.
Yeah.
Hard work.
And the second one is called Blood. My blood flows, but where? Do I really care? As long as it moves, I won't hear death's hooves pounding behind me, clop, 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 just waiting to see me drop.
Oh, that's awful.
All poetry is about.
And third, Exhibit A.
That's great.
Writing about something is very difficult without saying what someone else has already said. In hell, everyone thinks they have something to tell. So for me, it's easier to write about nothing, since I, for one, have nothing to say. This poem is simply exhibit A.
We'll do making sense first.
Okay.
Rumi said, "There is a voice that speaks without words. Listen." These days I seem to do that more. I listen to the wind, that holy energy of the universe. Have you heard it sear through the pine needles? Have you smelled it full of the neighbor's grilling steaks? Have you felt it ruffle the hair on your arms? Have you seen it as it moves seemingly without effort tons of ocean water? Your voice is silent for me now. I suppose you could be part of that wind. Physicists say that the energy leaves the body when the body can no longer hold it, but it goes on. Are you dancing in the soft night with all the stars? Are you riding the surf into shore? Are you with the bloomed cherry blossoms floating across the Potomac? I suspect maybe all and more. In this world, my world that aches for peace and understanding, you are free. You are the wordless wonder that I attempt to hear. I conjure up the image of a wind that is so full of love and wisdom that it blows all the flags free of their poles and the harsh words associated with the allegiance to those flags, blows hatred, sorrow, and bigotry back into the ethers as only the wind knows how. I honor you in the wind today and the peace that you both have that seems to elude us in this dense physical form. I honor you, I honor the wind, I honor the wordlessness for all its wisdom.
Wow, how beautiful.
Do any of you live in, as I say, I live in defilement, I live in a deep valley. Do others live in a valley around here? With that tremendous wind over the weekend?
Yeah.
Roaring on the
Broke a cherry-
hilltops?
One of the cherry
Yeah, it
trees is
whistled
broken.
through
Yeah, I
there.
know it roared, it was a roaring wind, it was just
Yeah.
really loud, for around here especially, we usually don't have that type of,
It sounds like you had somebody in mind when you were writing this.
My daughter.
Your daughter, yeah.
And the flagpoles and the way things have been on the news.
and then the flags of ISIS and all the hatred that they inspire.
There's, you read here wordless wonder.
Yes.
Instead
Oh,
Well, there are a
of
couple things that
We're okay.
I thought sounded better when you read.
Which is
The wordless one?
You are the wordless
Which,
one.
which
you
verse?
read
Did I say
wonder.
wonder?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Some,
okay.
but some of the things that
One works
were
better.
different, I kind of
Yeah.
liked the way you read them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, let's read a lighter one.
Oh,
This is called The Square Root of Things. I just, that title just came out. Standing in line at Walgreens checkout, standing in line at the Walgreens checkout on Sunday night, I wondered what I was really doing there, scoping out the tablets, learning that someone named Teresa was pregnant, holding a 2-pack of Reese's Cups, my addiction not allowed at home, and a bottle of facial cleanser. I hoped the candy would appear as the impulse buy. I realized just what I didn't know, which might be a form of knowing. What is the main craving ingredient in peanut butter cups? What is it that supposedly makes my face supple when using this cleanser? And who the heck is Teresa, and whose baby is she carrying? I could be pondering more important things like why diversity causes division, not a simple math problem at all. Or when will the economic systems be driven to serve humankind? Hey, this may be a new equation. Maybe Teresa's baby will solve it.
Profitable trip to Walmart.
And more knowledge in the tablets than there usually is.
Walgreens.
Is there another?
The second one, I make no promises. Threnody. My lips are dry. Steady rain makes marshy places among the stones. Wind harries trees stark against a storm-bruised sky. A chill I cannot lose slides dark along my bones. You are gone from here. I have no hope of your return.
What does Threnody mean? There's a,
Threnody?
looks like there's gonna be a footnote.
No,
Yeah.
that's just a note to myself.
Oh.
Trinity is sort of a mourning kind of poem and such. You've got the built-in dictionary.
I'll do that, see where it comes from, and what derivation.
Threnody Plus.
Pardon?
Threnody Plus.
Yeah.
In color.
I like the phrase storm bruised sky. Very, very descriptive.
And then, dark rises the starving moon has nothing at all to do with the poem. It just was a phrase that came to mind.
Okay.
Jiggery pokery came riding to town, all higgledy-piggledy upside down, topsy-turvy, ill-kempt and all, as if it had stumbled and taken a fall. Harum-scarum ran laughing along, and down and out and went for a song, while in for a penny, in for a pound, disagreed loudly with standing your ground.
Well done.
It was just markedly different than what I've been reading.
Yeah.
What kind of dissertation?
So why didn't you write?
What it's about is the mediatization of the Indonesian diaspora with homeland politics.
Okay,
Wow.
all right.
Makes the heart sing, doesn't it?
That's a new one for me.
Synonyms include dirge, lament, elegy.
You could put the peanut butter cups on your face instead of the skin stuff.
I do. I'm gonna send these around, and I just have 6, so if you would put them upside down like that, just so that people could see it later. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but just put them, just so that
So we're
there's
not
one
supposed
that
to
you
look?
can take a look at. Yes, okay. All right, so I have 3 little things to do. I don't know if
No,
we have enough
it's
time.
this way,
What's
this
the
way.
time?
It's
Okay,
Well,
okay,
We didn't have any.
Okay, so, like Tom, I've been trying to sort of lighten my luggage with my poems, and I can get just so much going on, and I get lost in it myself. So, starting the one that says Out of the Blue, I'm gonna start with Hailstorm, because that's one of the poems of Kay Ryan.
around?
So I'm just gonna read that one. Okay.
Please,
So this one is Kay Ryan's
I only have one.
You don't have
This
enough?
is Kay Ryan poem.
Do you have
Yeah.
another one?
There's
no,
a
no,
lot
that's
of
fine.
Hailstorm,
That's fine, yeah.
Did everybody want one?
Does everybody have one?
Go with this, sure, this one.
So start with the one that says Out of the Blue, but I had that at the wrong time. So look down to Hailstorm, and that's Kay Ryan's poem, sorry. Like a storm of hornets, the little white planets layer and relayer as they whip around in their high orbits, getting more and more dense before they crash against our crust. A maelstrom of ferocious little fists and punches, so hard to believe once it's past. Awesome. But so then I thought, well, I'll try to do something in the form of Kay Ryan, but
So
all
this is by Kay Ryan?
that's by Kay
Okay.
Ryan. Yeah, sorry, I don't know.
Hailstorm is by her.
Is by her. I'll take that. You can choose. No. So Out of the Blue, but all I really did in terms of getting closer to Kay Ryan was just bring it, like lighten up the poem. I don't think I did much more. I started the first line, but Out of the Blue. Like the moon staring out of black sky, you stood on a busy street, waving wildly, lit up the place. You caught my eye through the bus window. You should be miles away from the corner where you dropped me at 5 in the morning. We said goodbye badly. I forgot it instantly. After 40 years, you still surprise me. This was, I was on the mega bus. And at
What's
the
the
crack
name
of
it?
dawn.
Long
the big-
haul.
Yeah, well, I was going to Chicago.
Oh.
And so somehow, and then the next spot, I had no idea that my husband would be up there. I mean, why would he be there? But somehow he got up there and he was standing there waving at me because he was so grouchy in the morning.
Also made a point of wanting the last image to be non-grouchy. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
And he made a point
Right.
to do that.
Yeah, so anyway.
Oh, that's sweet.
Okay. Okay, so this next one goes with these pictures, and
Gotta get up early.
I'm just asking you to just give me an idea of whether you feel like you're getting the images. No,
we should look at it.
no.
She cheated.
Well, I thought since you.
Do you know sign language? Sign language, that means stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Time out and stuff.
Okay. Finger painting. It's one thing to smack down your hands, all fingers too, wet glossy paint, purple and blue, onto a sheet of pearly paper, traveling a known country, a start and a finish. What if in the moment you envision possibilities, the walls and the floor, your body a canvas that extends beyond, a mirage expanding out of the window, lifting your eyes to the heavens, painting the limitless tinctures with your exquisite fingers?
Aww.
Okay. I'm just asking this because I'm just not sure whether I can get the image, if you're getting that. Does that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
very
does.
tactile, yeah, I can almost feel the gooey stuff on my fingers.
So now you can look into the
Are they
eyes
all the
of
same?
Clara, my granddaughter.
Aww, that's
And very messy.
Those are her thinking eyes.
Where can I put this sort of
Purple
thing?
fingers.
She was ready to
On the
do
wall.
out and beyond.
And on.
There's creation underway.
That is purple.
Yeah, you can see
she's
Thank you.
Yeah, she's looking at
Yeah, I
that
can see
hand.
very nice.
Yeah, that's the hand. It's got potential.
If I didn't,
Okay,
Is she more left-handed
this
or
is very
right-handed?
metaphysical.
They're wonderful.
I think of it totally different. When I see the picture, I can. But to me, this is kind of a metaphysical.
You're talking about the second part of
Yeah,
the
that
finger painting?
it's almost like your whole self is going out and being part of everything.
I kind of wanted that. I wanted it to be like wonder, a sense of wonder.
Yeah.
Raunchy,
Okay.
Hey, Robin, is she
Raunchy.
more left-handed than right-handed?
raunchy.
Oh, she's
would
every-handed.
you-
And I responded.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't,
Say
Oh,
it
my
I
again.
need to, yeah.
Who's the redhead?
You're not sure if she's left-handed or right?
My granddaughter in Chicago, Clara.
What did she do with the,
Because she has more paint on her left hand and she's looking at her left hand.
what did she do with the hand eventually? Did she put it someplace inappropriate?
Yeah, but she just, I think, was just imagining.
Contemplating destruction, now she was
We
contemplating.
have this, so.
Where should I put this to cause the most outcry?
Where did you get the megaphone? Where did you pick it up?
Columbus.
You get it from Columbus to Chicago?
Yeah, well, to Cincinnati, to Indianapolis, to Chicago.
Really?
You can get it in Toledo.
Toledo.
They have to get through Toledo first.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it goes from Toledo.
Thank you.
And you have to park.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
All the way around?
You got one?
Too bad.
$30.
Oh, Sisyphus.
They use the megabus.
It's just like the
Just
girl
being a big
bus.
Litho?
Just a cheap
Or
bus.
Oh,
the bag of Sisyphus.
Billy Collins, yeah.
I envisioned one that was 80 feet long or something.
it did have a back door open for most of the ride until someone noticed it.
Until someone fell out.
Nobody flew out.
Don't sit near the doors. Sorry. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. Finish. So introduction to poetry is the one that I sent around earlier in the week, and a number of you commented that you enjoyed it very much, and I enjoyed it. That's the reason I sent it out. But then I was thinking about the content of the poem, and so I added the little 4 lines at the bottom that I think speaks for this group. My favorite poetry group does not use a hose or bound feet and hands held to a chair, but just as much as when we read prose, well-stated meaning elicits the pleasure we share.
That's great.
When you sent that poem out,
I have a Billy
I've got several Billy Collins.
Gomes book, but the night before you sent that out, I read that poem right before.
The wavelength. Yeah, well, a lot of us enjoy Billy Collins, and sometimes he just gets very dry. He's got a formula or something that he uses, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But he's amusing many times. So on the other side, we have the many rolls of rock. Say, maybe this is an Easter poem or something, I don't know. Rocks are stable, the rock of Gibraltar, symbol of the prudential. But rocks can fly as a weapon. David beamed and conquered Goliath. Rocks in a riffle roll on the bottom of the stream, used for rolling rock beer. Rocks used as riprap can hold off the literal tide or resist the waves that scour a shoreline. Big rocks are mostly stable, unmovable. Moving them is the stuff of Christian myth. Jesus, crucified, buried in a cave, arose, grabbed life anew, flexed his muscles and moved that rock. Yes, they can be rolled, even uphill, but Sisyphus finds every gain followed by loss. There can be weakness even in the biggest of rocks. A bit of water in a tiny crack and freeze will split it. All the stability and gravity of rock, when plucked and drummed, will roll. If not totally broken, a band of rock can become the sound of rolling stones. You may in your resolve be as a rock, but beware, others can roll an avalanche.
Rock and roll.
So the
Yes,
Rolling,
rock, that's all about rock and roll.
the Rolling Stones was intentional, but not capitalized.
Right.
Excellent.
That gave him some satisfaction.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this.
A lot of alliteration and
That
so on.
wonderful
Yeah.
sound.
It's really
Yeah.
solid.
And no references to fracking, which has a lot to do with
Well,
rock, fracking. and
Were you stoned when you?
actually, I had to cut it back some because I had gone rather wild and rocky connotations.
My printer broke down too.
Aw.
I don't have one. My typewriter broke down. Early spring,
Oh, this is nice though to have handwritten. Yeah.
trees,
But we still have,
okay. Trees are bent and shaken by the forceful winds. Dry leaves are carried far across the open spaces. Far above, the vultures soar, riding on the swells, gliding gracefully beneath the racing clouds. Spring is the dance I dream, never far from my hopeful heart, on these wintry days when cold encompasses all. It has been so cold. I colored my bleeding hearts
Yeah.
last night, but they still froze.
Oh,
out in-
that's
out-
sad.
I guess I.
are they in pots that, I mean, outside,
Oh,
planted?
planted outside.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's very
Well,
sad.
are they in bloom or just?
Yeah, blue.
Oh, mine aren't blooming yet, but I haven't checked to see if they froze.
Oh, they probably did. It was 27 degrees.
Wow.
These are
But
very close to
again-
the house, so they might
Mine
be-
are too.
How about my peach blossoms?
Well, then the saddle,
At
saddle
least
patch.
the cherry trees came out. I mean, they just made it.
Yeah.
Because last year the buds
Yeah, the river
froze.
is nice. The river
Pretty.
was.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of cherry trees. I
Yeah.
hadn't realized there were so
More.
many.
Because
Me
the little
either.
ones, the second wave, are now getting big enough that you kind of notice
But there are a
them.
bunch of over by the
Oh,
hospital
other
also.
places,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's interesting, we have Bradford pears on this side of the street, cherry trees on that side, and
Hmm,
sort of all the
I like
bloom.
that.
We're in our bloomers down here.
A greenish tinge over here and a cherry red.
Cherry trees.
It's my turn because you already read your poem, Sherry?
Yeah, I read
I
it.
think it's your turn, yeah.
So it's my turn. And I think I made 13 copies. So she so if you want to not take one. Okay.
Since I'm almost through with this.
I think I have 13 and I think there's 14 of us. I want to thank the person that did respond to my question of who the author, the poet was, and so I included a poem by Kay Ryan and then did kind of a spin-off on it. And there are two other things that happened that are also included. So this first one is by...
We don't have it yet.
Does everybody?
No.
Okay. Okay? Okay, so Hope by Kay Ryan. What's the use of something as unstable and diffuse as hope, the almost twin of making do, the isotope of going on, what isn't in the envelope just before it isn't, the always tabled writing of the present. Hope definitions. The feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn out for the best. A particular instance of this feeling, grounds for this feeling in a particular instance, a person or thing in which expectations are centered, something that is hoped for. Their forgiveness is my constant hope. To look forward to with desire and reasonable confidence, to believe, desire, or trust, to feel that something desired may happen. And then Webster adds, one of the three Christian virtues, direct hyperum, theological virtue, supernatural virtue. According to Christian ethics, one of the three virtues, hope, faith, hope, and charity, created by God to round out the natural virtues. Sorry?
I just said, and the greatest of these is charity. I was just.
Oh, thank you. And some translations are using faith, hope, and love instead of charity. Thank you for that. Now this is my poem, Hope. Did you ever say, I hope? Why hope? To help you cope? Where does one get hope? Will we use a jump rope? What do people hope? Will they talk to the Pope? Hope, not a dope. Don't mope. No need for soap. Nope, nope, nope. There is hope. Don't fall off a slope, nor on a tightrope. Antelope, cantaloupe, envelope, isotope, gyroscope. What is hope's scope? For those with hope, endless, a kaleidoscope. And I thought it was really interesting, and this really did happen, that after I finished writing this poem, when I got in my vehicle, this was the song playing on the radio when I entered the vehicle. So I included, the title of the song is Hope for the Hopeless, and the guy has a very interesting name, song by Papa Roach, and this is only part of the lyrics. This hope for the hopeless, none, now that I know this, you can be the strength to carry on. The voice in the silence is crushing the violence. It's giving me a chance to right these wrongs. I will never quit. This is it. 'Cause it's hope for the hopeless. Hope for the hopeless.
Isotope and
Yeah, I tried to use
gyroscope.
I tried to use a couple of words that she had.
Envelope.
Yeah,
Yeah, two of the, yeah.
yeah. But I tried to do the form. I think it's the shortest that I've ever written. Least amount of words per line.
Be reminded, but
Yeah.
Okay. Hear from Ruth.
Oh, you can go around there.
We missed a couple of people on the first,
Yeah.
Larry came and then Rich came, so we got, who to go?
I can do two. No, I don't.
Wait a minute, there's one more. I think.
Sorry, no.
Man, this is real paper.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was
It's
too
expensive.
The same stock as.
Yeah.
We'll be expecting vellum next.
Is there a watermark?
That's what I was looking for.
I thought so.
Quite.
The last time I wrote a treatise on the brain, and I was challenged to take one stanza and just deal with it. So this was my challenge, which I never got completed, but on one stanza. Our brain yearns to learn and to remember. Our brain remembers more when we are feeling confident, attentively engaged, relaxed, and competent. Our brain is motivated to learn, endorphins increase when power of choice is given a voice. Our brain is motivated to remember when our efforts are praised. Our brain is turned on to remember when mildly challenged, but turned off when threatened. Our brain has passion to remember when we have a clear purpose. Our brain has devotion to remember when tied to an emotion of friendship while learning and when applying what is learned in a game, with our aim to practice what we've learned. Mary and I weekly remain socially and mentally engaged, with internal limits to avoid being enraged by our Bible study conversations, by playing cards with friends, and by square dancing with those who like to step, bob, and bend. These activities provide us with mental practices that are meaningful, challenging, and enjoyable.
I would take off the last lines and just leave it
Stop
the
there.
way it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just
Because we
had a
know,
little
we got
humorous
the
end.
message. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay.
They even have a new research on Alzheimer's that some memories can be recovered with some physical stimulation of the brain by either electricity or whatever, and so that the memories are not lost, they're just sort of misplaced and refiled, and they have to get the refiling system re-energized to find them, be able to recall them.
Good to know.
A neighbor of mine shared a CBS News video of Super Brain Yoga. I don't have TV, so he just sent it to me via Facebook. But he basically says that there's these doctors who advocate, especially for disabled people, to try, like mentally disabled, to hold either end. Yeah, like, and then you like do squats for like, I don't know how many minutes.
Do you fall over?
15 minutes?
Makes for longer earlobes.
Stimulate something.
And do squats.
Try it.
And then squat, so like you breathe in, squatting down, and breathe out, squatting up, and you do it for I don't know how many minutes. You're supposed to
And what's
just
supposed to
squat.
happen then?
Brain activity. Like,
Oh, you mean
brain
like writing poems?
No, thinking. It enhances your thinking.
Have you heard of Feldenkrais?
Uh-uh.
Have you heard of Feldenkrais?
It's a,
Yes, heard of it. What is it?
lightly Feldenkrais.
Yeah.
He was an Israeli industrial engineer,
And he came up with this body movement.
and the science is now showing that certain things that you do, it like
Wires your
Mhm.
neural pathways because your body's not used to doing these weird movements and it's thinking, what am I doing here?
Something new.
And it's really therapeutic movements, but it also affects the brain.
It's pretty good stuff, actually.
No, this one doesn't take that long. Just do it every morning. Breathe in, breathe out, and squat all the way down. And
I know a science
She'll
teacher
do it.
that-
Oh my God!
Teacher that does this for kids. And confident.
Oh, yeah, you can't lose.
Oh, well.
That's another good one.
Just
This is another good
But
one
if
to
you do that,
do.
then you say.
Well, this is, in brain gym, they have this thing called the hookup. And it's good, yeah, I know. It's good to keep kids
Now
quiet.
move.
And you just, she'll have them stand there. and then
That looks like a blank sheet.
Come around this.
It is.
Larry, did you not bring a poem
Like
of
in
someone's
science,
to
she
share?
teaches-
No,
There's the,
You said you were going
there's
to.
the people, and there's all the
no,
people.
I didn't. I don't even have email functioning, so I didn't say that.
So you didn't say that?
No.
It's the next one over here. Next week.
Larry says he doesn't have an email function, and he didn't write the email that said he was coming today with another poem, someone else's poem.
It's a mystery.
Somebody did it.
Somebody
Let's
write
call
for
Guy
me.
DeWarm.
And I to decipher.
Well hidden to the end. Like putting on glasses before getting out of bed. So automatic, so essential to the public part. The mask, a hole for each eye, one for the nostrils, another for the closed mouth. Decorated or not, a bit more creepy than scary. Laced down the back of the head, top to bottom like a corset. Crisscross laces tightening, knotted at the nape for a very close second skin fit. Not easily removed by an angry opponent, certainly not by the wearer, determined not to lose high-stake wagers, only to look mean and impressive, hide his true identity, disguise his ego, maintain the mystique, this unknown force in La Lucha Libre free fight with its high-flying brutish ballet of rehearsed moves in the roped ring, people cheering, groaning, yelling, and like El Hijo de lo Santo, the saint, to be buried in full costume after a life of choreographed wrestling, his silver mask still on, guiding his lost spirit back, just as the ancients believed, to find its final resting place.
Where have you been?
I don't
What
quite,
have you been doing?
yeah, I don't.
Libra.
Free fight.
Free light?
Free fight.
It's called free fight.
But
Free fight, mostly.